Hey guys, welcome back to more AFK Arena. In today's video, we're looking at a Reddit post. I will leave this linked in the description. Now, artifact guide. This is something that I get asked a lot to make. I don't have the balls to put one of these together because the amount of like... the thing with these is people want a black and white picture and it's grey as all hell. So take this all with a massive grain of salt. I just want to respect the effort that was put into this. So big shout out to Rogue on Discord for letting me know about this. Guide made by Admiral, and it's the guys at vk.com/AFK_inside, who are the guys that always do the data mining and stuff like that. So that's all the shout outs out of the way. But like I said, it's funny in games. Tier lists, artifact guides like this, all this sort of stuff is something that people are always like, give it, we want this stuff, we want you to make this stuff. But as soon as you put it out, people are going to criticize because it's very, very situational, especially an artifact guide. So I'm just putting all the disclaimers out here at the start. I just want to respect the work and give a rough outline for some people. Who was it? Someone, because, and don't worry, I've even ventured into Reddit comments, but I love Reddit. It's such a horrible place to be. Anyway, actually the AFK Arena Reddit is actually pretty good compared to a lot of other games. But if we go over here, Anonymous Potato put it really well. This one here, the best artifact for each hero consensus seems to be a non-existing at this point. A die roll might yield as good a result at this point. Read the text and decide for yourself. And then Anonymous Potato rocked up with, that's because the best artifact depends on the situation. For example, Jura's Eye on Euron gives him the most damage in general, but Verdant Bow gives him more damage against tanks. However, Jura's Call is more important than both if winning depends on you getting your ult off before the enemy. Shroud gives the least damage over the course of the fight, but also provides the highest initial burst, and it becomes the most important artifact if Euron depends on the shield to avoid dying in the first couple seconds. So that is... that, just reading that, I was like, okay, that perfectly sums up how I feel about any of these sorts of things, because it's all situational and people are going to have different personal preferences. But I thought I had to put an extra 3 minutes at the start of this video putting disclaimers out and talking about that stuff, because I know as soon as you cover something like this, people are going to be like, no, but my Peggy prefers Jura's Eye over Jura's Call. So just take it all with a massive grain of salt. But there is a lot of work that went into this. Also, reading through the comments, people asked why it's sorted into factions and not classes, because we have the class-specific artifacts. The reason for that, they said, is just that the layout was too hard because the classes are so imbalanced in their numbers. It was just going to look weird visually. So that's the reason for that. And the other thing is, when we look at each hero, basically the general broad best artifact for them is from the left to the right, and that is the way they've gone through it. But like I said, I just feel like these things are a really good tool for especially new players to have a look. Now, keep in mind, we do have a lot of class artifacts that are optimal on a lot of heroes. So if you're in the early game, you will not have those yet. Don't stress. You can just look across the line and eventually you will hit one that is a normal one. And the other thing is they've only included the first 2 class artifacts for each class. So we've got a third one for the warrior and the tank, but they are not included in this yet. So I'm assuming they're going to do an updated one once we get 3 artifacts, 3 class artifacts for every class. But in general, because people always ask about artifacts, and I just always say, in general, if you got an attacker and fights are going for a long time, Jura's Blade, and basically if they're going to live for a long time. So like Taylene, for instance, Jura's Blade is good because she's going to keep coming back, gaining that attack bonus. If you've got things that rely on crits and different stuff like that, then Jura's Eye is going to be good if we look at something like Pharrell and stuff like that. And keeping in mind, different situations will be different things. And oh yeah, that's the other thing. I'm pretty sure this is the PvE focused thing, because in PvP it's a bit different on your heroes and stuff like that. Then when we look at, you know, support abilities, if you really want to get your support abilities off earlier, then those type of things, like for instance Thorin here in Thorin Cheese, he really wants to get it off early so that he doesn't die before he can actually cheese. Damon obviously similar, where he wants to, you know, ult first, get his shield up. Rowan, you want him ulting fast as possible. Eloard, same sort of thing, and all those general bases. So I find that in the general artifacts, the ones we start with, the non-class artifacts, the three main ones you're always going to be looking at being optimal for most heroes is going to be Jura's Call, Jura's Eye, and Jura's Blade. Those are the main three you're going to use, and sometimes on tanks you will get use out of Jura's Chalice. But besides that, you know, like Drape and Grace, very situational. Not a lot of characters are going to have that as their like optimal choice. And then we will roll into a lot of the class specific artifacts. Obviously, a lot of the damage based warriors are going to want the what's it called, the I can't even remember the name of it. This one here, the first one that came out, where they get the extra haste stacking. It's going to be incredibly nice. And mages, you know, a lot of mages are bursty. They really want to ult fast and kill things, so they're going to get the book in there. And as we go on to rangers do have a wide variety of what they like to use. Both of the class artifacts are decent depending on the hero, and Eye is going to be good on a lot of rangers because a lot of them are crit based as well. And as we move into tanks, basically the two tank class artifacts aren't too bad, and you know, getting some protection in there as well. And then tanks are normally going to want, you know, Jura's Call, Jura's Chalice as well is more situational on tanks as well. And that pretty much covers the general basis. But like I said, you can come in here, look around. Oh yeah, supports. A lot of supports prefer Jura's Call, but both of the artifacts are situationally good as well. But you can come in here and look at whatever hero you want and get a rough idea. Now, keep in mind, some things are just really weird. For instance, if I'm trying to do Lucretia Cheese, sometimes Jura's Grace is the best because you get the shield. It makes sense. You know, you're ulting a lot with Lucretia, you're getting that shield, getting some mitigation, you can get further. Sometimes Jura's Eye is the best. You know, you get the speed, you get the crits. It's nice. Sometimes Blade's okay if you go on, but sometimes, for instance, just putting like, I'll swap an artifact. If I'm in a stage with a Lucretia Cheese and I'm like, I'm so close to getting this, sometimes I'll just throw Drape on her and it'll work. Sometimes I take the artifact off and it works. There's a lot of RNG involved in things that really do change it up. So what you think on theory, on paper, should be the best thing is not always going to be what works in the end. So like I said, there's a lot of disclaimers in this one, but nonetheless, there's been a lot of effort put into it. And in general, I think these are some pretty good basic overviews of standard situations for heroes. But every team you fight against is going to change things a little bit, and especially some heroes. For instance, that example with Iron, the different teams you fight against is going to drastically change which artifact is going to function better. But once again, I'll leave this link in the description. You guys can jump in, have a look, and get a rough idea of what you might want to be putting on your heroes. Once again, big shout out for the work done by Admiral and vk.com/AFK_inside. And another shout out to Rogue on Discord for hitting me up about this. But anyway, guys, you guys can stop asking me to make one of these because, damn, this is a lot of work and I don't want the heat. So there you go. There's the artifacts. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.